But you know that in the world, there isn't one person who has explained the message of grace as this servant has. No one. And that was a predestined act. That was already predestined. The other, when the other comes, he's going to edify on top of the foundation I laid down. And that other one took a lot of time. 2,000 years before he appeared. And suddenly in 1973, one night suddenly appears and they grab my head. Suddenly, I began to talk with him in my mind. And he had me pick up my Bible and said, read. It's the same one that tells me to read today. So then I began to read and it said, you are dead to sin. And the mind of Christ began to teach me as the babe when he begins to say his few words, ba, 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 ma, 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 da, da. And he began to say, you are dead to sin. Kept repeating it. You are dead to sin. And there, the mind of Christ began to form in me. And there, little by little, I began to hear it. And I stopped reading the Bible. You know that there are people that are crazy about reading the Bible? I didn't dare touch the Bible because I feared that Jose Luis would interpret. Because that mind that came to me was the one that was going to interpret the book. So then that was at 5 a.m, I would get up. What happened? You're an angel. What? I am what? Well, you are angels. And then he told me, and you're also God's. Oof, if I say this to the church, no one will come on Sunday. And that of baptism in water, that's wedding people. You're wasting your time with that. I said, ooh, how many are left here? Ooh. And it was an agony. Every Sunday, he would give me a different revelation. And he removed baptism, but I left the communion. Ooh, the Eucharist. That's sacred. Bread and juice. If the Lamb of God was already sacrificed for you, why are you going to continue in those games with a little piece of bread and Welch's juice? Oh, and when he would speak that word to me, he would tell me, Sunday, you have to teach that. Oh, but let me study it a little more. No, Sunday, speak that. Brethren, from on now, no baptism, no Holy Communion. We're removing it. Oh, and one day he told me, and that of those prayer worship, that nonsense, stop that. Get rid of that. If you pray 24/7, why you got to make a prayer worship? For what? So people can begin to make wrong confession? Pray for my mother that she's dying. Your mother's doomed. Pray for my brother that he's losing his job. Look, he's losing his job. Well, he lost it. Those were services of destruction. He said, get rid of that nonsense. Ooh, my brother, no. And you hear people say, he's going to leave us with nothing but what he's given you. In exchange for pig food, the pearl of great price. Listen, and you know that people don't imagine. How can they have so much joy if they don't pray? There's no devil. There's no sin. And look how happy they are. And look how they grow. What does he give them? Listen, the manna that was hidden. The pearl of great price. Abba, Father.